going down, man? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to another episode, guys and gals. I appreciate you guys listening this week. Got a lot of shit to talk about this episode, guys. I don't even fucking know where to fucking begin. I'm going to be talking a little bit about My Hero One Justice and the DLC issue that's been going around the internet, man, and the problem with that, and basically a problem with all games who do this shit. And I'll get into that later. We also going to talk about Dragon Ball Heroes. Got some news on that. We're going to also talk about another issue with another fighting game that I love, that I hold very dear to my heart, and that's Dragon Ball Fighters. Going to talk about some things in that category. We're also going to touch on Toyotaro and the fucking anime debacle out here in these anime streets, and what he's been doing and what the fuck. We'll get to that, but I will just say this. This definitely involves Jiren and Master Roshi. The combination, just those two names in that same sentence is like, what the fuck? But I'm going to tackle that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Gamescom. Just a small little dose of that, because we got Gamescom coming up on Tuesday, so I'll be covering Gamescom on the next week's podcast. So let's get ready for a lot of gaming news, and we're going to be breaking that down. Also, last but not least, man, we have Nintendo rumors, the Nintendo Switch rumors out here in these streets, man, talking about Nintendo Switch Pro. There's really no name associated with it, but everybody's calling it the Nintendo Switch Pro. So we're going to get into that as well. But right now I want to start off with a little bit of some Dragon Ball Heroes news, man. Dragon Ball Heroes is a pretty motherfucking popular game out here in Japan, and it's only supported in Japan right now currently. But we got a little news, and pretty good news if you want to get a taste of that Dragon Ball Heroes. They're going to be making their way to the West. Yes, sir. Got some news on this the other day. The arcade game, which actually gives you real physical cards as you play it, is going to be available in a lot of select Dave & Buster's restaurants / I guess arcades, if you will. Dave & Buster's, if you're not familiar with this place, it's a place where you can kind of go and eat, drink, and play games, arcade games, maybe some putt-putt and shit like that. So, they're going to be making an appearance sometime soon. I'm not sure what the date is. I haven't received a date, but the most important thing when we're talking about this is the fact that we're just getting it. We're going to get it in the West. And if we get that in the West, then it should be only a matter of time before we're able to get our hands on the Dragon Ball Heroes games for the handhelds and stuff like that. Because I would love to play Dragon Ball Heroes on my 3DS. Like I said, it's available in Japan. The 3DS is region locked, unlike the Nintendo Switch. So we can't have access to that. And even if we did, we wouldn't be able to read it unless we spoke Japanese. So, I mean, it is what it fucking is. And that's just, that's where we're on at. But I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of that news. All the Dragon Ball fans out here listening, and anybody curious about Dragon Ball Heroes. And also, they made a small anime series based off of Dragon Ball Heroes. So basically, Dragon Ball Heroes is like kind of like a Dragon Ball fantasy world. You know what I mean? If you take characters from the Dragon Ball universe and then kind of rewrite them your own way. You know what I mean? Maybe in your Dragon Ball universe, you want Ten Shinhan to be, actually pretty motherfucking powerful. And you can do that. You know what I mean? And pretty much this goes for any character, of, any one of your characters you want to do that to in that universe. So, I mean, it's a intriguing, series, and I would love to see it in the US. And finally, I think this is the first step in that direction. And I'm very, very proud to even announce this. So kudos to Dragon Ball Heroes for coming finally to the West. Okay, next I want to talk a little bit about some video game woes out here in these streets, man. And these video game woes, I'm very concerned because this is a trend that just I don't see stopping, man, until motherfuckers get shut down. And we have seen in the past how certain companies try to take DLC or pre-orders. They try to take it to that next level and try to gouge as much money out of the consumers as possible. And a lot of these companies like EA, have been put down because of it. You know what I mean? They thought they could get away with doing certain things, and they found out the hard way that no, the people will fucking check you, especially nowadays with the media and with everybody having a voice now. It's much, much easier for everybody to band together and make changes and make things happen. When companies try to fuck up or try to pull wool over our eyes or try to play lollipop games, whatever they try to do, to get that last fucking dollar out of the consumer, man. Long gone, are the heydays of, buying a great game and getting everything fully loaded, for your money. You pay $54.99, or you pay, whatever you pay for the games, and you get everything in that game. I mean, I remember that time because I'm old enough to remember that. And I'm also old enough to realize and to be able to witness the fucking changes, in all of this. So I can remember way back when everything was all sweet, and I can remember, when shit started to change, and now shit is completely flipped on its ear now when it comes to DLC and everything else. Now there's good things to DLC and there's bad things. And hopefully, we can outweigh and keep outweighing, the bad with the good. But the reason why I bring this up, guys, is because I'm going to be talking about My Heroes One Justice. It's a game that a lot of us are familiar with if you're fans of My Hero Academia. It's a game that is going to be released pretty soon for, I think, all platforms, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, I was looking into the game, looking at, what characters were going to be available. And they basically took one of the characters, Endeavor. If you're not familiar with Endeavor, he's basically the second strongest one of the, characters in the series or whatever. And he was the best thing I can kind of compare it to is if Naruto is All Might, then Endeavor was Sasuke. You know what I mean? I guess you could kind of look at it like that. But anyway, this is a mainstay character, man. And they got him behind a fucking, pre-order wall. Basically, they're saying that the only way to get access to him is if you pre-order, pay in full for the game, buy the game outright, and you get it. And we're not talking about putting $5 down at fucking your local GameStop. No, we're talking about buying the whole fucking game. And, before you even get a chance to play it, experience it, to even get access to this character. I think that is so fucking retarded. I think it is so stupid, man. But it is what it fucking is. But a lot of people have been, bitching and moaning about it, and rightfully fucking so. I mean, when these type of things happen, when these companies try to do these type of things, we as the people, as a consumer, man, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. We as the people, and the consumers, we should basically stand up if we feel that something is wrong. And I'm not just talking about games. I'm talking about everything. But, if you have a platform, you need to get on it and use it. And that's when, they will stop. That's the only way they will stop is if, that happens. So if you see a company trying to verbally or financially strong arm, a consumer out here in these streets, which they do on a regular basis a lot of times, then you basically speak up, man, and flood it. Flood Reddit, flood YouTube, flood every fucking outlet you can and start that bonfire. And then before you know it, these motherfuckers are retracting statements. They're putting games on hold to go back and change code and do everything, you know what I'm saying, and fixing shit because they're not fucking stupid. And if you ask me, they probably have a counter response in their back pocket. In other words, they probably did this shit and they probably have a PR guy sitting in the back telling them, look, okay, let's plan for just in case everybody starts to shit on us and we don't want to go out like EA did. So let's kind of let's have a backup plan. So if we get too much flack, let's go ahead and be ready to change this at the drop and say, okay, guys, no, he will be available. Don't worry about pre-order. You don't have to worry about that. Yada, yada, yada. If they're smart, they're doing it like that. But we need to pull their cards. Their cards need to be pulled. And that's just, I can't say anything else about it. I mean, it's just clean, cut, and dry, and it's as simple as I can basically explain it. So yeah, that is the My Hero Academia, I guess, rant, if you will. I'm going to move on from that, guys. That was a little frustrating to talk about. I'm going to move on. What I want to talk about now is DLC. And I'm talking about Dragon Ball Fighters. And I love Dragon Ball Fighters, man. Please don't get it twisted, misconstrued. I really love this game. But my issue right now, which has kind of got me pulling out my hair, and I'm not the only one. Please believe I'm not the only one. It's got me pulling out my hair is because some of these characters, man, that they are, bringing to the game. Okay. They've got characters slated for release. All right. And I don't know who's making these decisions. I would love to know who's making these decisions, who's in that boardroom. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly probably drinking sake, smoking endo sticks, and making decisions on what character should we add to the game next. Oh, I know. Let's put Cooler in there. I mean, Cooler? Really? Cooler is going to be the next DLC character of Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck are they drinking? What are they smoking? They must be smoking some really good shit called Dragon and just sipping on tons and tons and tons of fucking sake. They have to, because why else would they be doing this? There are so many other characters that deserve a spot on this roster, man. Now I have no problem with putting Cooler on the roster if you've exerted everybody else. I bet if I took a poll right now, Cooler would not be anywhere near the top of the fucking list. He just wouldn't be. I mean, Master Roshi, why isn't Master Roshi in this game? Okay. Why isn't he in the game? I don't understand it. I do not understand it, man. He should be in this fucking game. Now, let me just say this. I mean, they're not done with putting characters in the game. And they could put him in like a year from now. Who knows? But right now, like going down the pipeline, if I'm looking at characters that should be in the game, like right now, or like soon coming to the game, he should be one of those guys. And he's not. He's not in here. You got Cooler in here. Cooler has not been relevant. When has Cooler been relevant? When's the last time he's been relevant? I can't. I'll wait. I mean, I just don't understand it. The Tournament of Power just, that was the last arc in Dragon Ball Super, and they should be pulling characters from this arc. Okay, this is what they should be doing, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if they knew or know everything that goes on, at Toei Animation and, over in Japan or whatnot. Like, in other words, do they have any inside knowledge of what's going to happen, with the anime, with the movie or whatever? Apparently they don't. If they did, or maybe they may do, but they just couldn't act on it. Maybe they knew that this new Broly was available and was going to happen, but they couldn't get permission because the movie hadn't been out yet. So maybe that's why they went ahead with the other Broly. That's the only thing I could think of on terms of him as a character being added to the game. But some of the shit should just be no brainers. I mean, Cooler is like, you're taking this guy. Think about all the people just think about all the characters in the Tournament of Power right now. You know what I mean? Just think about it. They got hit. Okay, so I was like, okay, they're putting characters in here. I thought, they announced 17, and now there's rumors, talking about, Super 17 from Dragon Ball GT. And I hope that's a fucking lie. I mean, I hope it's the 17 from, the Tournament of Power, which it should be. I got faith that it will be that one, because they went through all of that, all that trouble in the series, at least, to, catapult 17 over Gohan, over all these other characters, man, out of the blue. And they want him to be somewhat relevant. I mean, because 18 is now a staple character in the Dragon Ball series now. She's basically cemented as like the family. She's part of the family now. So I guess they wanna go ahead and do this now with 17. And like I said, I have no gripes with 17. 17 was definitely a good character in the series. I really liked him. I really like what they did with him. And, you know, he did some shit that, you know, put him on G status in my books, in my eyes. But, you know, Cooler, that's like, okay, Cooler and 17. And then you got Cooler coming before 17. Just doesn't make fucking sense, man. That's just, that combination is just all wrong, if you ask me. And it frustrates me, man, when I'm just thinking about that shit, man, as a Dragon Ball fan. I mean, Master Roshi should be in this game. Jiren should definitely be in this game. He was like the creme de la creme of the last arc. Okay, if you're putting other people from the arc in this game, you need to put him in there. He should be one of the first guys you put in here before you put all these other characters in here. Like I said, once again, characters who are not relevant, haven't been relevant in a long time. Now, you could have put, you know, base form Vegeta and base form Goku in here day one. Should have been in there day one, if you ask me, or just put them in on the tail end, like some of the last DLC, because we already got Gohan, we already got Vegeta, and you're just adding more and more the same faces in here. I just don't understand it. And I'm not, trust me, look, you know, I'm a Vegeta fan. Vegeta is one of my favorite characters, period. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you got his, you know, Super Vegeta form in there. Now you got his fucking base form in here. Then you got Vegito in here. Then you got, I'm like, what the fuck? You know, Goku Black. You got Goku. Then you got fucking base form Goku. I'm like, what the fuck what's going on here, man? All these slots. You know what I mean? I think I just named 4 fucking slots that could have been used for 4 other characters. All right, period. What the fuck is going on, Bandai Namco? Who's making these decisions, man? Somebody's sipping on that sake. I'm telling you right now, man. They need to stop. This needs to stop. All right. PyCon. I mean, you want to talk about characters going off the cuff. I mean, PyCon. I hear PyCon every other fucking day. Why don't you put PyCon in the game? PyCon needs to go in the game. Same thing with Xenoverse, like PyCon. You know what I mean? I have a feeling Xenoverse 3 is gonna you know, doctor up a lot of this shit, and I think we'll be seeing PyCon there. I think we'll be seeing the new version of Broly in that as well. But as far as Dragon Ball Fighters, I mean, what you're gonna turn around and put another Broly in this game? And if you do, you don't want to do it soon, because you just not too long ago came out with the basic Broly, the non-canon Broly. So you can't just backdoor with another Broly anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe you do a skin or something. I don't know. But if they're recreating Broly altogether, man, I'm sure some of his moves and shit are going to be switched up and different when this movie drops. We're definitely going to find that out. So, yeah, you feel me? I don't know what else. I don't know what else to bring to the table with that. So, I mean, you guys, I would love to hear some names from you guys. Who do you guys feel that, you know, you would like to see in this game that's not already here? There's a lot. There's tons of Dragon Ball characters, man, in the universe that I feel deserve spots in here over Cooler. I mean, you know what I mean? Come on, man. I mean, he's somebody. If you want to pull people from movies and shit, you mean, there's a number of different, you know, guys you can pull from different movies as well if you wanted to go there. But Cooler, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But that's pretty much my gripe with the DLC from Dragon Ball Fighters, man. I hope they get it together. I really fucking do. And you know, add some relevant characters to this fucking game, please. Please, just, I mean, like I said, give us some guys from Team Justice. Give us something, man. Okay? But you can't do the game like that. It's not cool. And that's just my opinion. I'm going to put the money on the table and walk away. I'm done with that. Okay. The next subject I want to talk about, guys, is, man, I'm sure some of you have heard, maybe you haven't, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it out right now. Toyo Taro is, an artist, a writer, and, you know, on the manga of Dragon Ball Super. And right now, there's some shit going on in these anime streets that he's out here drawing up shit in the manga that has got everybody turned upside down. And it basically involves Jiren and it involves Master Roshi. Ultra Instinct Master Roshi. Okay. There's an actual manga already been drawn with Ultra Instinct Master Roshi versus Jiren. And he's fucking schooling Jiren. Okay? Jiren is swinging at him. Jiren is fighting him, and he's going toe to toe with Jiren like it's nothing. Jiren has not been able to lay a hand on him. Now, there's only been a few images recovered online right now because it's not complete yet, but supposedly the reason Goku got his Ultra Instinct is from Master Roshi by watching him go up against Jiren. Okay, I'm sorry, but out of all the people you have going toe to toe with Jiren and not being laced, not being lit the fuck up, and you got Master Roshi doing this. Now, I love Master Roshi, do not get it twisted, but this is fucking absurd. All right, this is ridiculous. All right, and this is what has everybody scratching their heads and like, what the fuck are you doing? And this is not apparently the first time he's done shit like this. He's done some other things. He's supposedly synonymous with a lot of this fuckery out here in these streets, drawing up shit that doesn't make fucking sense. You know what I mean? You give somebody, an 8-ball of fucking crack, and you give them a gallon of sake, and you tell them to, ingest all of that, and then take a pencil, draw some shit on paper, and then, let's stamp it for approval. That's basically what this motherfucker's out here doing. Okay. Now, check it out for yourself. Just Google Jiren versus Ultra Instinct Roshi. Okay. And, the images will appear. Okay. I don't know what to say about this, but I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. This is just crazy. I heard of fantasy and all of that. But man, the way he's writing this shit like it's real. Okay. And I can't wait till he's finished, because I'm going to break it down as much as I can when it's all said and done, when it's all complete. I'm definitely going to break this shit down. I had to mention that because this shit is crazy. Just imagine like one of the most powerful character in Super right now. Technically, Jiren is right there. Jiren is like the most powerful character in Super, and you take Master Roshi, who is now in comparison one of the weakest. No, don't get it twisted. Master Roshi has hands, but he doesn't have. That's just crazy, man. I can't even finish my sentence. Just imagine that, okay? And then just imagine him going fed on Jiren. And I'll wait. I'll wait for a response, but there's not going to be one because everybody's probably got their jaws touching the ground over this shit. I'm going to put that money on the table, and I'm going to walk away from this one too, man, because this shit here is crazy. But I hope they change that. I hope they fix it. I hope, they give us a viable reason for what is going on right now. And I guess I'll touch on this at a later date. All right. Before I get started on my last little tidbit with Nintendo and what's been going on out here, I will just give you a quick little announcement, guys. Gamescom is coming up. It will be taking place Tuesday, the 21st, until the 25th. So basically, we're going to get a lot more news on games. We're going to get some video. Hopefully we get some shit that we've been missing from certain games out here. Kojima. Hopefully we get some gameplay from Death Stranding, and there's a lot of different things out here. I hope to see. We're going to get some news, but I'll be covering all of that on the next week's podcast. So it'll be a game heavy podcast again. Anytime we have major gaming events like E3 or Gamescom, I'm going to be covering those, and I'm going to be going in depth for you guys and just covering all the shit that's out there. So I'm gonna be going hard on that. So that's 4 days of nothing but games, man. So be looking forward to the news, and I can't wait to touch on all of this shit right here coming up. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump on the last little side note of this podcast, and I'm gonna be talking about Nintendo. Yes, we're going to be talking about Nintendo. Now, there has been a big fucking rumor out here going on about a Nintendo Switch. And basically everybody's talking about this Nintendo Switch Pro. Is it a rumor? Is it not a rumor? And they're talking about 2019. It's slated for 2019. Okay. Now, the guy who put it out, I can't recollect. I can't remember his fucking name, but supposedly he's been known to put out shit that has, had some fucking relevance. He said he's mentioned some games in the past, and it came out to be true. Now, to be fair, he's had some other things to come out and not be true. So basically, it's like up in the air. So nobody really knows what to think of this. But what he stated is that here's some tidbits from what he was talking about. He was saying that the Nintendo Switch Pro would be coming. The new one would be coming with 128 gigs of memory. Okay, already on the system, 8 gigabytes of fucking RAM. All right, and it's going to be 4K ready. Also, for the cherry on top, the system will have streaming available, basically like Xbox and Sony. Okay. So you'd be able to stream your fucking gameplay. And when I saw this and when I heard this, there's a lot of fanboys out there, Nintendo fanboys, that were very, very upset. They were cursing this guy. And they just couldn't believe it, shaking their head in disgust and whatever. Now, if you ask me, okay, I believe, it's somewhere down the middle. All right. And I mean that, there is going to be a Switch, in my opinion, a new Switch coming. I don't know if it's going to be, if it's 2019, it's definitely going to be holiday season 2019. Okay. Because the reason why I say that is this. The Nintendo Switch is still $300. They have not dropped the price. Now, usually when, a new system comes out like the Pro or like the Xbox One X and shit like that, they drop the price on their previous system. They drop that price and then they'll wait a little bit and then they'll announce, the other more streamlined, the other version of, what the system is. Okay. And this is one thing in gaming that, a lot of people can't stand. And I'm one of those people. I'm not going to lie to you. You buy a system, then they come out with the streamlined version of that system. It can do this. It can do that. It's more memory, all of this shit. It's just their way to fucking make money. More money, more money. You know what I mean? Just, if you got it, cool. Hey, do what you do. But, for people who, spend their hard earned money and save and bust their ass to get their games and everything, and then turn around and be, hear of a new one and, the new one gets to play certain games that the other one can't play, and I was a victim of that. That's why I have not bought a Nintendo Switch. That's just one of them. I'm not going to say that's the only reason, but that's one of the reasons I haven't gotten a Switch yet. And I finally, this has basically cemented, the thoughts in my mind, and I'm basically not going to get a Nintendo Switch until they release a new one. And I'll get into that in a second. But, this rumor right here, man, if you ask me, is it true or not? I don't know. I believe it. I actually believe this rumor. Now, like I said, 2019 to me, is more like a late 2019, maybe first quarter 2020. Because if you think about that, that's around the time that all the new systems, the next gen systems are going to be dropping. 2020 sometime. Okay. So it makes sense for them to maybe do that then. But if you look at the Nintendo Switch if you look at it as a whole, like as the hardware, if you look at the hardware and everything, they were cutting corners, man. They were cutting a lot of corners, for manufacturing, man. The game, the system is bare bones. 32 gigs native. That's what you come with. That's what you get, out of the box. And technically you only get, so you might as well just say 25 gigs, because the operating system runs on the rest of it. And then you have, no games or anything like that. They're not giving you anything extra. You're going to have to get all of that yourself. For the most part, you can't use third-party things or third-party items to make the system better. Nintendo has proven that if you try them, and doing so, they will brick your system. I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo, as you can tell if you listen to me talk about it, because they're such a good company when it comes to certain things and such a bad company when it comes to other things, man. Because Nintendo, in my opinion, they don't give a fuck about the consumer. They don't give a fuck about their consumers, really. Nintendo does what they want to do. They're just like, look, we're gonna do what we want to do, and you guys are gonna either love it or not. And the reason why they can do that is because, it's nostalgia. It's, they've been around for years. Everybody, especially older players like myself, remembers that Nintendo, getting that Nintendo for the first time, and all those great times we had with the system, and, then the Super Nintendo, and then the Game Boy. I've had all of those. Okay. And that was my introduction into gaming. And, they got a foothold on a lot of us in that way. A lot of us were Nintendo fans before we even knew we were Nintendo fans. And that's just the way it was. But when it comes to consumers and listening to, the people, they really don't fucking do that. In a way, they're lost in a way when it comes to those type of things, in my opinion. And, with the Nintendo Switch, it's kind of the same. I mean, they beat to their own fucking drum. You know what I mean? And let me give you an example when I say that. Okay, every other system that is out, and I'm going back. Let's go back. Let's not even say current gen systems. Let's just go back one generation. Okay, let's go back to the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Both those systems had basically where you could connect with other players around the world. You could form parties. You could, make friends, and you could actually have conversations with those people. Nintendo it is now 2018, and Nintendo, the new Switch, does not have that. There's apps for certain games and this and that. Like I said, their own fucking drum. Okay. If you could fucking host a party and just like Nintendo, just like Sony, or just, like Microsoft right now with the Switch, how dope would that be? Especially on the go. I mean, that right there is a super seller. That right there was like, I guarantee you, another million sold right there, just off of that, just off the love of that. But they do what they do when they want to do it, man. And I don't even know if the Switch will ever get that. Not this hardware right now. Now, like I said, they're shooting for the stars, and what I mean is, that's why I believe there's going to be another Switch system coming, and they're going to basically correct all those things. In other words, the new system is going to have more memory. It's going to be faster. It's going to be available in 4K if you want to dock the system. Maybe 1080p if you're taking it, on the road with you or whatever. And then, I believe that they might even have, where you can actually chat with your friends. I think they'll have all of that in the new system. I think they're working on that now as we speak. I'm sure there's somebody right now in a small room in the dark, working on schematics, trying to get shit done. Okay. Out here in these video game streets. That's just my opinion. Could I be wrong? Yeah. But I highly fucking doubt it. If I know Nintendo. And, I got bit by Nintendo before and went with the 3DS. Case in point, I bought a limited edition 3DS. Don't get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love my 3DS. I love the one that I bought. It was the limited edition Nintendo controller 3DS. Basically, it looks like a fucking old school Nintendo controller. It's got the same Nintendo colors, the gray, the red, and the black. Very, very, very pretty to look at. It's a XL as well. But right after I bought that, man, I blame myself in a way because I could have waited, but I didn't pay attention to the release date of the new 3DS, which came out like 6 weeks later. And then there's certain games that you can't even play on the 3DS. You have to have the new 3DS to play the games on there. So not very many, but, still Nintendo, they do shit like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo did this shit again. It would not surprise me one fucking bit. And a lot of people are saying, well, if they do that, then I'm rioting and I'm never fuck with Nintendo again. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You will. You say you won't. Some might not, but most still will. Okay. And it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo pulled this shit in 2019. I'm not going to be surprised at all if we get news. even at Gamescom, they might fucking drop a bomb at Gamescom and announce that eventually they're going to be coming out with a new Switch. Who knows? Who fucking knows, man? But I believe it. I believe it's going to happen. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 2019. It might be more so maybe early 2020, first half of 2020, but I believe it's coming. And that is why I decided to hold off on the Switch. I'm waiting because I know they're coming with another one. Also, there's been lots of rumors. Well, no, I'm not calling this rumor. This is not a rumor. This is true facts. I'm sorry. Let me pull that back. I already mentioned the short, well, no, I didn't. The short battery life of the system, number one. No third party, cohesion. They're not allowing anybody, if it's not Nintendo, to, help their systems better, for the most part, especially if it's something that you have to connect, the Switch to. There's been a lot of reports of cracking on the system. Now, supposedly there's a lot of the system overheats a lot as well, and that's supposed to be contributing to, a lot of the cracking around the vents and just the overall hardware of the system in general. That's not cool. That's scary. That scared me. I'm like, yo, I don't really. And then the docking system, supposedly scratching up the system and all these type of things, man. There's just been a lot of things that, when you add them all up together, I mean, they're not very good. Now there's exceptions to everything. I mean, every system, every piece of hardware is not going to be perfect. There are going to be defects and all of that. And I understand all of that, but those things, and then it's not really, for me, I just say, look, fuck it. I'll just continue to support the 3DS because there's still plenty of shit that I have not played on a 3DS that I would like to own and have. And, it's a lot cheaper than $300 right now. Plus, I'll wait to the new Switch because there is going to be one. And they're going to fix a lot of these problems that's happening now. By the time I do buy the Switch, it'll be so many games. There'll be, and a lot of them will be cheaper out here now. And it'll just be a better time, in my opinion, to buy one. So, if you're on the fence and, I was literally ready to go buy one this holiday season, but I think I'm going to wait now. I think I'm going to wait because I have a funny feeling that once I do that, the announcement will hit. And we got a new Switch. We were coming. The new Switch is on its way. Yada yada yada. So we'll see. We'll wait and fucking see. That's where I am on that. And that's the show, guys. Wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be, but those are just my 2 cents on the system. Who knows? Could my mind change? Could I change? My mind be changed? One day. Before that, it could. It could. I'm not here to say that it couldn't. I'd have to really put my hands on the hardware and really, do a little bit more research, man, on what's going on with the system in general, because I would just hate to buy it and then they announce another one. I could see why a lot of people would be very upset with that. I really, really could. And really the thing I'm afraid of most really is just the fact that the system I don't want my system to fucking crack or, anything like that, or overheat or whatever the fuck, those things do. If it cracks, because what happens if it cracks, you're done. What are you going to do with that system when it cracks? You're done. What are you going to, they're not going to, there's no insurance that's going to cover that. You know what I mean? Not to my knowledge. And you basically, you're going to shell out another 300? I don't know. Let's see what happens holiday season, man. If holiday season, they announce a drop, in the price, maybe like $50 or something. Hey, maybe. But, because think about it, when you buy the Switch, you're paying $300, and with tax, you're looking at around $330. After that, you have, you can probably survive with the memory you have right now with the first few games you get, but eventually you're going to need a new memory stick, and then the games. And we all know that Nintendo is very, very stingy and very, very synonymous, man, with high-priced games. They rarely ever drop prices on games, man. I'm telling you right now, they don't, especially their first-party games, man. They don't fucking budge, man, at all on their games, man. There's still DS games out there fucking full price. I'm joking a little bit, but god damn it, some of that shit is true. Okay. Even these indie titles, $15, how a lot of these are download only games or whatever. So you're not, unless you can catch a sale, but that's just what it is. It is what it is. And, so you're going to at least need, about what? $350? to play something on the 3DS once you get it. I'm sorry, not 3DS, on the Switch once you get it. That's just keeping it real. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But that's my 2 cents on the Switch fiasco that's been going on. Tell me what you guys think. I would like to hear from a lot of these Switch owners out here in these streets listening to this podcast. Let me know how you feel. Are you happy with your Switch? Did you feel it's been a good investment? Would you do it again? Would you do it all over if you could, if you had the chance, or would you just put your money in your pocket and spend it on something else? I'd like to know. Holler at me on Twitter, man, at Studio MacGyver. Let me know how you feel. I definitely want to hear from some of you guys. You can also hit me on Instagram at Studio MacGyver79. This podcast is also brought to you by Beautiful Nerds. If you like anime, guys, if you like video game merchandise, you need to fuck with these guys, man. www.beautifulnerds.com. And nerds is spelled Nurdz. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Get your fucking shit, baby. Cool ass hats, hoodies, beanies, backpacks, shirts, and everything in between, man. Fuck with them, okay? With that being said, guys, I'm going to get up out of here. But like I said before, be looking out for next week's podcast because I'm going to be covering Gamescom 2018. I'm going to have a lot of shit to talk about, guys. A lot. And I mean a lot. A lot of games that I've talked about previously, a lot of new games, hopefully, and some new info on a lot of other games that we've been trying to, find out. Hopefully we get some gameplay footage of, some games that I have really been highly anticipating. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of those. So yeah, guys, be looking out for the next week's podcast. It's going to be a big one. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you guys for listening. I thank everybody who's supporting me. And I love all of you. With that being said, this is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.